Okay, if you're an educator, you know the drill, right? Reflect, document, repeat. But what happens when the process itself, well, gets in the way of any real insights? Today, we're going to look at a brand new approach to structured reflection that honestly promises to be a game changer for faculty. Let's dive in.
If you're in academia, you have absolutely felt this pressure, this constant demand for reflective practice. You need it for assessment, you need it for accreditation, but way too often, it just feels like another administrative chore, doesn't it? Just more paperwork standing between you and the work that actually matters, your teaching and your research. And that's really the heart of the problem, isn't it? We all know that reflection is this incredible engine for growth, but the bureaucracy, the paperwork of documenting it can just stall that engine completely. It pulls you away from the very things you're supposed to be reflecting on in the first place. So what's the fix? How do we solve this? Well, enter L.A.W.S. It's a new tool designed to tackle this problem head-on by totally flipping the script on how we do reflective documentation.
So, what in the world is Lens? Well, think of it like a smart assistant that's built just for faculty. You give it your raw thoughts and your insights through a really simple guided process, and it does the heavy lifting. It generates a structured draft of a reflective journal for you, which you can then shape and refine. And look, this isn't just about journaling for the sake of it. Lens is specifically built to help streamline the reflection you need for three really critical areas of academic life: getting ready for assessments, navigating accreditation, and, of course, advancing your own scholarship. Okay, that all sounds pretty promising, but how does it actually work, right? How does Lens take this stream of consciousness and turn it into a structured, usable document? Let's pop the hood and see what makes it tick. So behind the scenes, it's a really simple three-step process. First, you give it your insights using a short, guided form. Second, the system analyzes and organizes all those inputs. And third, bam, it generates your structured draft. The whole idea is simple. It handles the tedious formatting stuff so you can stay focused on your expert insights. So that's the engine room. But what does this actually look like for you, the person using it? Well, the goal here was total simplicity. So let's walk through your journey. For you, it's even easier. You just complete the guided prompts, you hit submit, and then you get a structured draft right back in your inbox. And from that point on, it's all yours, your intellectual property, ready for you to edit, to refine, and to use however you see fit. The heavy lifting of getting your thoughts into a coherent structure is already done. Okay, but with any new tool, it's so important to understand its boundaries. To really get the most out of Lens, we have to be super clear about what it is, and maybe even more importantly, what it is not. So let's get really specific here. Lens is a tool for faculty and faculty only. It's designed to give you a strong starting draft. It's not for students, it's not going to write a final polished paper for you, and it is definitely not an automated publishing service. You should think of it as your research assistant, not the principal investigator. I love this quote because it gets right to the heart of the whole philosophy behind Lens. The goal isn't to replace the writer, but to remove the friction in the writing process. It's all about clearing away that administrative underbrush of formatting and structuring, so you have a clear path to the deep thinking that actually matters. So if there's one thing you walk away with, it should be this. Lens handles the annoying documentation part so that you can reclaim your time and your mental energy for the actual work of reflection. It's really about shifting that balance away from tedious paperwork and back to meaningful scholarship. And that really brings us to a final, really important question. If that burden of documenting all your insights was just lifted, what new connections could you make? What new scholarship could come out of it? Ultimately, what could you achieve if reflection was finally made simple?
For more tools and reference guides, visit the L.A.W.S Toolkit.